Here it is given that on a regular chessboard, the number of rectangles such that in each one of them, the number of black house is equal to number of white house. So the total number of black house is equal to number of white house. Now let's say if I select a rectangle, okay, something like of the dimensions 3 by 5. Okay, if I select that there is a rectangle of the dimensions 3 by 5. All right. So let's say if I say this is a rectangle of the dimensions, I can say 3 unit is the length and the 5 unit is the width here. So if I selected this particular rectangle 3 by 5, so if you count how many rectangles are there, how many houses will be there in which white house and the black house. So you can say the number of white house, I can say that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And when it comes to the number of the black house, how many black houses are there? You can just count here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So is the number of white house is equal to number of black house? No. So here the houses means that, okay, black, we know that there are a total of 64 houses here. So if I select a rectangle of the dimensions 3 by 5. So 3 by 5, what do you mean by the term 3 by 5? So can I say if I select a rectangle of the dimensions 3 by 5. So in a rectangle of dimensions 3 by 5, a total of 15 houses will be there. Okay. So out of the 15 houses, can you say half of them will be black and half of them will be white, like 7.5 and 7.5? No, we can't say that thing because that is not possible. Okay. But yes, if the number of houses is, let's say, 8, if the total number of houses in any rectangle, the number of houses is 8, so we can definitely say 4 of them will be white and 4 of them will be black. Okay. For example, if I select a rectangle of dimensions something like, let's say, from here, okay, I'd say 3 by, not 3 by, if I say, let's say 2 by 4. So you can see the number of white house is how much here. So if I count the number of white house, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. And the number of black house is how much? I can say 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in this case, when I've selected a rectangle of the dimensions 2 by 4 unit, the total number of houses is 8. So if there are 8 houses, I can definitely say there will be 4 white and 4 black. If the total number of houses is odd, then number of white can never be equal to number of black. But if the total number of houses is even, in that case only white will be equal to black. Now, if you count here, can we say what are the possibilities there? So if I'm talking about the length and the width, okay, length into width. So if I take a rectangular house of the dimensions, either both of them will be an even number. So I can say even into even. Or I can say that is even number, length is even and the width is odd. Or I can say length is odd and the width is even. Or both of them are odd. So out of these 4 cases, only in one of the cases when odd into odd, the total number of houses will be odd, where I can say the number of white house, it is never equal to black house. Whereas in the remaining 3 cases, number of white house is always equal to number of black house. So I need to count here how many of them are possible. So instead of counting white equal to black, let's count how many houses are there in which both the dimensions are odd. All right. Now, both the dimensions are odd. So how can we count that if both the dimensions are odd? So if we look at here in this chessboard, I need to count the number of rectangles of the dimensions in which both of them are odd. So the possibilities here, length is 1 and width is 3. Or I can say length is 1 and width is 1. Okay, length is 1 and width is 3. Length is 1 and width is 5. And the length is 1 and the width is 7. Or I can say the length is 3, width is 1. Length is 3, width is 3. Length is 3 and the width is 5. And the length is 3 and the width is 7. Or I can say length is 5 into 1 or 5 into 3 or 5 into 5 or 5 into 7. Now there are 2 different approaches. I'll come to the shortcut later on. Let's say next one I can say that is 7 into 1, then 7 into 3, 7 into 5 and 7 into 7. Now in any chessboard, in a standard chessboard like this, to find the number of rectangles of any particular dimensions, it will be always equal to 9 minus x into 9 minus y. So if I need to find out the number of rectangle of a dimensions m into n in a standard chessboard, so number of rectangles of the dimension m minus n, it is always equal to 9 minus m into 9 minus n here. Okay. So of the dimension 1 minus 1, so I can say this is nothing but 9 minus 1 into 9 minus 1. So 9 minus 1 into 9 minus 1, that will be comes out to be how much? 8 square, which is equal to 64. So there are 64 rectangles which is of dimension 1 by 1. 1 by 1 means it's basically a square. And remember that square is also a rectangle. Now, number of rectangles of dimensions 1 by 3. If I need to count the rectangles of dimensions 1 by 3, so I can say this is 9 minus 1 into 9 minus 3. So 9 minus 1 into 9 minus 3, it will be comes out to be 8 into 6. That will be equal to 48. So if 1 by 3 is 48, 3 by 1 will be also 48. Similarly, 1 into 5. So I can say 9 minus 1 is 8 and 9 minus 5 is 4. So 8 into 4, 32. So 8 into 4 is 32. So 4 into 8, it will be also comes out to be 32. Sorry, 1 into 5 is 32. So of the dimension 5 by 1, it will be also 32. Now remember, 1 by 5 and 5 by 1 are different. How? Let me draw it here. 1 by 5. So I'll say length 1 unit and width 5 unit. So let's say length 1 and width 5. I've drawn this like this here. Okay, length 1 and width 5. And if I say width, length 5 and width 1, so length 5 and width 1, so length 5 and width 1, it will be like this one. I can say like this. Length is 5 unit, 1, 2, 3, and the width is 1. So remember, these two are completely different from each other. So there is no double counting here. Similarly, of the dimensions 1 by 7. So of the dimensions 1 by 7, 9 minus 1 is 8 and 9 minus 7 is 2. So 8 into 2, which is equal to 16 unit. So 7 into 1 will be also 16. Similarly, 3 into 3, 9 minus 3 is 6 into 6, which will be equal to 36. 9 minus 3 is 6, 9 minus 5, which will be equal to 4. So 6 into 4, which will be equal to 24. And 9 minus 3 is equal to 6, 9 minus 7, it is equal to 2. So 6 into 2, which is equal to 12. So 3 into 5 is 24. So 5 into 3 will be also 24. 7 into 3 will be also 12. And you can observe the pattern also, like 64, 48, 32, 16, then 48, 36, multiple of 12. Okay. So in any way, you'll get 32, then it is 24. So next 5 by 5, I can say 9 minus 5 is 4 into 4, which is equal to 16. 9 for 5 by 7, 9 minus 5 is 4, 9 minus 7 is 2, so 4 into 2 is 8. So 7 by 5 is also 8, and 7 by 7, 9 minus 7 is 2, 9 minus 7 is 2, so 2 into 2 is 4 here. All right. So this is the total number of rectangles in which the dimensions are odd. Okay, both the dimensions are odd. If both the dimensions are odd, then the total number of houses will be odd. In that case, the number of white house, it can never be equal to number of black house. Now, if you add all of them, okay, if you add all of them, so it will be comes out to be nothing but that is 64 plus 48 plus 32 plus 16, all right, plus then I can say 48 plus 36 plus 24 plus 12, and then I can say plus 32 plus 24 plus 16 plus 8, and then I can say that is 16 plus 12 plus 8 plus 4. So this total, it will be comes out to be 400. So there are 400 rectangles in which both the dimensions are odd here. So I need to find out how many rectangles are there in which at least one of the dimension is an even number. So total minus 400. And like I told you that earlier in the beginning, that there are two possible ways to find out the answer. So when I say both the dimensions are odd, you can also think it in this way. Okay, odd. So we know that the length into width. Now length is of 1 unit. Okay, so length can be of 1 unit in how many ways? That is 9 minus 1, 8 ways. Length is of 3 unit. How many ways? 9 minus 3, 6 ways. Length is of 5 unit. How many ways? 9 minus 5, 4 ways. And length is of 7 unit. How many ways? 9 minus 7, 2 ways. And when I'm saying length is of 7 unit, that is 2 ways. You can see here which 2 ways I'm talking about here. I can say 1 unit like this from here to here. Okay, and the another unit from here to here. So you can see these are 2 units. So 9 minus 7, that's why 2 units here. Okay, so the length can be selected in a total of how many ways? You can add all of them. 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2, it will be comes out to be 20. Similarly, the width can be also selected odd dimensions in 20 ways. So length with odd dimensions 20 ways, width with odd dimensions 20 ways. So how many different combination of length into width will be there? That will be 20 into 20, which is equal to 400. Okay. So there are a lot of learning from this particular question here. How to find out, first of all, how to find out the number of rectangles in a standard chessboard of any particular dimensions. Okay. So there are 400 rectangles in which both the dimensions are odd. Now, what is the total number of rectangles? Now, we know that the total number of rectangles, to get one rectangle, I need two vertical lines and two horizontal lines. So whenever I get two vertical lines and two horizontal lines, we'll always get a rectangle. And how many lines are there in a chessboard? You all can count. It's easy to count. The total number of lines in a chessboard, standard chessboard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So there are 9 lines, vertical lines in a chessboard, and 9 horizontal lines also. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 vertical lines and 9 horizontal lines in a chessboard. So if there are 9 vertical and 9 horizontal lines in a chessboard, so the total number of rectangles in a chessboard is how much? I can say the total number of rectangles in a chessboard is 9c2 into 9c2, which is equal to 36 into 36, which will be comes out to be 1296. So the total number of rectangles in a chessboard is 1296. And out of this, we need to count how many rectangles are there in which number of white equal to number of black. So I can say the answer is 1296, out of which in 400 of the rectangles, the dimensions will be odd. Both the dimensions are odd. So in that case, white will never be equal to black. So take a difference. If I take a difference, it will be comes out to be 896. And this is your answer. So the correct answer for this question is 896, which is option B. So I hope that this concept is clear to all of you. If you want to keep yourself updated with all such type of the question, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as Telegram channel, the description of which is given below the video. You can also join our Facebook group. Thank you.